The rhythmic patter of water echoed off the ceramic tiles as Emily stood beneath the warm spray of her shower. It was the only solace she found in her hectic life, a brief moment of peace amidst the chaos. The steam enveloped her, obscuring the world outside the confines of the bathroom. Lost in her thoughts, Emily hummed a tune to herself, the melody soothing her frayed nerves. She reached for the shampoo, her eyes closed as she lathered her hair. But as her fingers worked through the strands, a chill crept down her spine. A whisper, soft and barely audible, seemed to emanate from the depths of the drain. "I see you," it hissed, sending shivers coursing through her body. Emily froze, her heart pounding in her chest as she strained to hear it again. Surely, it was just her imagination playing tricks on her. She dismissed it as a figment of her overactive mind, a consequence of too many late nights and too much stress. Yet, as she rinsed the shampoo from her hair, the voice returned, more insistent this time. "I see you," it whispered, the words slithering into her consciousness like a serpent coiling around her thoughts. Emily's hands trembled as she fumbled for the faucet, desperate to silence the eerie voice echoing in her ears. But no matter how tightly she twisted the knob, the voice persisted, its sinister tone growing louder with each passing moment. Panic seized her as she realized that the voice was not a product of her imagination. Something was speaking to her from the depths of the drain, something that should not exist in the realm of the living. With trembling limbs, Emily stepped out of the shower, her gaze fixed on the drain as if expecting some grotesque apparition to emerge from its depths. The bathroom seemed to close in around her, the walls pressing in with an oppressive weight that left her gasping for air. "I see you," the voice whispered again, closer now, as if it were right beside her. Emily's heart raced as she backed away from the drain, her mind reeling with fear and disbelief. How could this be happening? What kind of twisted nightmare had she stumbled into? Frantic, she reached for her towel, wrapping it around her trembling form as she made a dash for the door. But as her hand closed around the cold metal handle, a sudden gust of wind slammed the door shut with a resounding thud, trapping her inside. Emily's breath caught in her throat as she turned back towards the shower, her eyes widening in horror as she saw the drain begin to pulsate with a sickly glow. Shadows danced across the walls, twisting and contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed to mock her terror. "I see you," the voice whispered once more, its tone dripping with malice. Emily's mind raced as she searched for a way out, her thoughts consumed by a primal urge to escape the nightmare closing in around her. But before she could take another step, a cold hand shot out from the drain, its twisted fingers grasping at her ankle with a vice-like grip. Emily screamed, her voice echoing off the walls as she struggled to break free from the unseen assailant. With a final surge of adrenaline, she tore herself away from the drain, stumbling backwards as she fought to regain her footing. But it was too late. The darkness engulfed her, swallowing her whole as she plummeted into the abyss below. And as the echoes of her screams faded into the darkness, the voice whispered once more, its chilling words echoing through the void. "I see you," it hissed, a sinister promise of endless torment in the depths of the abyss. As Emily descended into the darkness, her senses overwhelmed by the suffocating blackness, she felt a cold dread seep into her bones. The air grew thick and heavy, pressing down on her like a suffocating blanket. She reached out blindly, searching for any semblance of solid ground, but found only the icy tendrils of the abyss wrapping around her like a lover's embrace. "I see you," the voice whispered again, its words reverberating through the void like a death knell. Emily's heart pounded in her chest, the rhythm of her fear echoing in her ears. She was trapped, a prisoner in a world of shadows and whispers, with no hope of escape. Desperation clawed at her mind as she struggled to make sense of her surroundings. Was this some kind of nightmare, a twisted figment of her imagination brought to life? Or had she stumbled upon something far more sinister, something beyond the realm of human comprehension? As if in answer to her unspoken question, a faint light flickered in the distance, casting long shadows against the abyssal darkness. Emily's breath caught in her throat as she stumbled towards it, her movements sluggish and uncoordinated. With each step, the light grew brighter, illuminating the twisted landscape that stretched out before her. Jagged rocks jutted out from the ground like the teeth of some monstrous beast, their edges sharp and unforgiving. And in the distance, she could see a figure standing amidst the shadows, its form shrouded in darkness. "I see you," the voice whispered once more, sending a chill down Emily's spine. She hesitated, unsure of whether to approach the figure or flee into the darkness. But something compelled her forward, a primal instinct that urged her towards the unknown. As she drew closer, the figure began to take shape, its features twisted and distorted beyond recognition. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, piercing through the darkness with an intensity that sent shivers down Emily's spine. "Who are you?" she whispered, her voice barely audible above the din of the abyss. The figure said nothing, its gaze fixed on her with an intensity that made her skin crawl. "I am the one who sees," it replied, its voice echoing in the cavernous expanse of the abyss. "I am the watcher in the shadows, the keeper of secrets untold." Emily's heart raced as she tried to make sense of the figure's words. What did it want from her? And how had she come to be trapped in this nightmarish realm? "You are here because you sought me out," the figure continued, its voice a haunting melody that seemed to seep into Emily's very soul. "You called to me, and now you are mine." Panic surged through Emily's veins as she realized the truth of the figure's words. She had summoned it, unwittingly beckoning it forth from the depths of the abyss with her fear and desperation. "But why?" she pleaded, her voice trembling with emotion. "What do you want from me?" The figure's lips curled into a sinister smile, its eyes ablaze with an unholy light. "I want your soul," it whispered, its words a chilling promise of eternal damnation. "And now that you are here, there is no escape." With a sudden surge of terror, Emily turned and fled into the darkness, her screams echoing off the walls of the abyss as she ran. But no matter how fast she ran or how far she traveled, the voice followed her, its chilling whispers echoing in her ears for all eternity. Days turned into nights, and nights into days, yet Emily found no respite from the torment that consumed her. She wandered aimlessly through the twisted landscape of the abyss, her mind a battleground of fear and despair. The voice haunted her every step, its whispers growing louder with each passing moment. It taunted her with promises of unspeakable horrors, promising to drag her soul into the depths of oblivion. But amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope flickered within Emily's heart. She refused to surrender to the darkness that threatened to consume her, clinging to the faint light of her humanity like a beacon in the night. With each passing day, she grew stronger, her will forged in the fires of adversity. She fought back against the voice, pushing back against the suffocating weight of despair with every ounce of strength she possessed. And then, one fateful night, as Emily stood on the brink of despair, a faint light appeared on the horizon, illuminating the darkness with its radiant glow. It beckoned to her, calling her forth from the shadows with a promise of salvation. With renewed determination, Emily set out towards the light, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she drew closer, she could see a figure standing amidst the brilliance, its form radiant and ethereal. "I see you," the figure whispered, its voice gentle and soothing. But this time, there was no trace of malice in its words, only compassion and understanding. Emily approached the figure, her heart filled with a sense of peace she had thought long lost. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling with emotion. The figure smiled, its eyes ablaze with an otherworldly light. "I am the one who watches over the lost souls of the abyss," it replied. "And you, my dear Emily, are no longer lost." With a gentle touch, the figure reached out and enveloped Emily in its embrace, surrounding her with warmth and love. And as they vanished into the light, leaving the darkness of the abyss behind, Emily knew that she had finally found her way home.
Like, subscribe, and click on notifications that will allow you to stay up to date with the news and not miss videos from the channel, where there will be many more horror stories.